to the eVetSites webinar. My name is Jose Galvin. I'll be helping you out this morning and hopefully helping you understand a little bit more about search engine optimization. I always like to make sure that the audio and video is working, so if you folks are on and can hear me, if you can just let me know by in the chat just saying hi. I wonder if I can do that. Great. Well, thanks again for showing up. I'm going to be talking about some general SEO topics today. I'm not going to get into too many nitty-gritties, although we can. There's not that many of you, so if you have individual questions, just shoot them, and we can even bring up your page and look at it. We always encourage you to, and I would love it if we can do follow-ups where we can do specific, one-on-ones. That's always the best way to go ahead and do this. Okay, so like I mentioned, we're going to talk about some search engine optimization here, and I'm going to go ahead and use my veterinarian as a kind of a guinea pig here. Let me grab her account here. And really quick, I'm just going to start with some really general concepts here. So everyone knows, Google has now become, it's not just a search engine, but it's also a verb. We Google things, we look for things on there. We don't say, well, I'm going to do a Google search. You say, well, Google it. And the main thing when you're looking for a search result is you can get about 3 results here. So if I do this search, well, there's no ads here, but usually there's ads which are part of the, people pay for this, the Google advertisements. And then there's also going to be, that's one part. The second part is the map results, which this is part of your online presence, your business presence. And this has a lot to do with your geography, in other words, where you're located. Since I'm in Davis, California, not too far away, if I type in Midtown Sacramento, it knows, where I'm looking for. On the other hand, if I just type in veterinarian, well then, it's going to find things that are near us. As you can see, one of our clients is right down the street. Here's us. Here's some other places. And so the location has a lot to do with it. If we scroll down, we'll see these results, and these are the, what the quote-unquote real results, the organic search results. These are what most folks are looking for when doing a search. So if, the aim of SEO is to improve your site's standing here. We can certainly help you improve it here as well, but the focus is mostly on trying to improve it here. As we can see, looks like these guys are doing fairly well. And that has to do a lot with some factors like their domain name. They've got the term, appearing. One of the biggest factors that search engines use when ranking is how often a search term appears. So for example, we've got Midtown Animal Hospital right in the URL. They've got Midtown on the page itself, and they've probably got it in there more times than this Yelp page or my SACVET or any of these other places. In fact, I'm not even seeing Midtown on any of these. Let's try this one. Oh, well, look, these guys are also our client. Now, it doesn't say anything here about Midtown, but I know that they're fairly close. We were actually just talking about these guys earlier. So how do we improve our search? Well, the first thing we need to do is to know what it is that we're searching for. Does anyone in the webinar currently have a search that they'd like to do better for? And if so, then we can work on one of them for you. And if not, then I'll just pick one at random, and I'll work on Midtown Vet, because we've got a pretty good relationship. She lets me run wild on her website, and okay, so if I do a different search, downtown Sacramento, which is still close, Sacramento's got kind of a grid in the downtown section, as you can see here, and so there's all this little grid that's in there. So if I do a search for downtown Sacramento, then we jump from number 1 to number 4. Not a big deal, but let's say it's very important because that's just the neighborhood that they really want to do well in. What we can do is you can go to the website and just look for it. You can look to see if the term appears on the home page. All the pages count in SEO, by the way. This is a good time to bring this up. Every page that you've got that's visible to Google can contribute to the overall score. So all these pages, the About Us, the services, the hospital policies, hours, all of those things will contribute. If you have a page that's hidden, as you can see, some of these pages have the parentheses around them. If they're a hidden page, they're not going to contribute to your SEO because they're not indexed by SEO, by the search engines. So let me just take a step here to sort of give you the really short version of how Google finds your content. So the first step is obviously to create a website, to put content, images, text, etc. The more original content, the better. Original content, along with how many times a search term appears, is a huge factor in ranking. And then so what happens is Google will go out. They have these programs called bots. The bots go through the website. They look for the content. They make note of the content. And then they'll follow links to other pages within that site. When they're done with that, little recon mission, Google has an index of all these pages. They've cataloged a lot of content. And then when somebody does a search, then hopefully they'll put all those two together. Gears whir and tubes glow, and then a result pops up. So if a site is brand new, if anyone on the site, if anyone on the call has a very new has a new website, let us know, because then we're going to view things a little differently than if you have a site that's been in business for a while. We'll talk a little bit about your online presence in a few. I'm going to talk mostly about the content on your site at first here. Okay, so this is a great trick, and if you're taking notes, this is a really cool one that'll help you with your website and also for whenever you're searching. So if you type in site and then colon and then the domain name, and then maybe you want to find something, it will show you everything that's on that page with these terms. Yeah, so they don't have that. How about, so there you go. So, dog hoodies. So as you can see, you put the domain name, site, your domain name, and then the content. And what this will do is it'll help you find you can do kind of a self-assessment. So for example, let's say a doctor calls me and says, Jose, we're not showing up for we're not showing up for downtown. So let's do a search for it. I'm going to do site Midtown Animal Hospital downtown, and I'm only getting one result. Now, on the other hand, if I type in Midtown, look at all of these, because it's actually in the name, and so it's going to appear, everywhere. Same thing for, I don't know, nothing about laser therapy. Maybe they don't have one. I don't know. This is a big one, and I say this as a cat owner myself. So here it says friendly. It doesn't necessarily say cat friendly, but those things count. So you can find out by doing this what Google currently has on your site. What do they currently have? And if you do it just without any qualifiers, so it's just site : and then your domain name, it'll show you every page that they've got. So these are all the different pages that they've indexed. It says here about 70 results. Some of these have to be, repeats, like photo albums and things like that. But okay, so that said, if I was going to go ahead and then work on this, I would go to log into the site. Click the key in the lower left-hand corner, put in the username and password, and then I would go to this page and I'd click Edit Content. Here's where you can change the content on the site. How about that? So now we've got downtown. And so now downtown appears there. That's the first step, because then you're telling Google, we've got this new page. Here's this new thing. And so then the first step is to put it on the website. The second step is to let Google know. And there's a couple of ways of doing that. One way is just to wait. If we just if we just kind of hang out and we wait for Google to come by, they will do so. If you notice right here, if I click this drop down and go to cached, they came by on the 11th. It wasn't too long ago. And in fact, if you ever do a search on anything, you'll notice these little drop downs. That'll tell you the last time that Google came by. On this page, June 20th. So if something was updated on this page after that point, Google doesn't know about it. Now, if you don't have Google Analytics or Google Webmaster Tools installed on your site, we can install it for you for free. We've got it on a bunch of different web pages. Here's Midtown Animal Hospital. I've submitted 20 pages, or I'm sorry, I submitted 21. And so if you, sorry about that. Let me grab that for you. All right, and so with this Google Webmaster Tools, if you don't have it, we can install it for you. It's free, and it's a communications tool. It's a way of telling Google directly, here is where you can get the passwords. And then there's this crawl, you can actually fetch it. So if there's a certain page that you wanted to update, maybe just the home page, here I've got employment, services, or whatever, you can go ahead and do it here. And then you can request indexing. And if you need us to do this, of course, we'll be happy to. Like, anytime you update a page, you just say, hey, Jose, we did this. Here's a choice. We can do just one URL or the URL and everything that's linked to it. Okay, so I've gone ahead and done that one for that home page, but there's even more to do. Let me go ahead and give you I'm going to put this in the chat. Hopefully everyone sees that. Did I send it? There we go. Okay, so whenever you do a search, you probably see these three results that appear. There's this big blue text, the green text, and this description right here. If you have, if you've been with us for a while, you're a eVetSites veteran and you've had this, let me know. Please send me a chat message. I'll actually follow up. I'll look at both your practices since there's not that many of you today. But for how can I say this? We've been learning along the way, and so what we know now is different than what we knew 8 years ago, and 5 years ago, and 3 years ago. So there's a lot of information that we've put into the newer pages that we didn't on some of the older pages and the older websites. And so we want to make sure that we get everybody up to speed and have all the sites have the newest information. So these page titles right here are important because this is what you click on. And if you're logged into a site and then you click Edit Menu, this right up here is the title. Let me go ahead and bring these close together so you can kind of see. All right, so as you can see, here's the home page. Midtown Animal Hospital, Sacramento, California, veterinary services, home. So it's pretty straightforward. It's telling people what the practice offers, and you can go ahead and kind of share this here. Now this next section down, this green text is in here. On the home page, it's blank. And then this little bit here, which is called the description, this description is this black writing right here. If you notice, it kind of cuts off after highest. So everything that's after here does not show up. We've included a little counter that tells you when you're getting close to the limit. It's kind of an approximation. What I'd recommend is that the titles have, the name of the practice, your location, and what the page is about. On the home page, it's it doesn't really matter which order. On these other pages, make sure that they all have something. And you can actually do them the other way around. You can put in, like About Us, Midtown Animal Hospital, Sacramento, California. That's fine because people will see it first, and so that's, what's important. So maybe driving directions and contact us, you can put that at the beginning. This how-to walks you through how to do them. It's fairly simple. I recommend making like kind of a short snippet of a sentence. It doesn't have to be an entire big sentence, but just something so that people can see it. So for example, here how it says Sacramento, California services, Sacramento, California FAQs. Now this news one needs some work. Notice it doesn't say Sacramento, California. So let's go to it. Whoa, I have no idea what happened here. But yeah, so let's do this. right. And I'm actually going to hide that page because there's not any content on it. But as you can see, this kind of gives you a place where you can get some more information when you do the site :name. So changing your titles, changing your description can help you. Um, I'll be glad to walk you through that in more detail. I know this doc sort of touches on it, and this is more just to show you that these are things that we can do than to do a how-to on it. I just want to give you a general idea of some of the things that you can do to improve your SEO that don't cost a cent, that somebody can do, and they're really not that technical. It's just kind of you need a little bit of direction as to which part of your website you've got to go ahead and change. Another easy one that you can do to improve the amount of times a search term appears. If you remember on this one, we were working on downtown. So now we've got Midtown and downtown there. And we've got downtown here. Now, another easy one that we can do is you could put a tag on an image. Whoops, I think I just gave the same one, did I? Oh yeah, here it is. So again, we're going to log into the site. You're going to click on Edit Content. And if you double click on the image, you're going to get this window that pops up with an image description. In the image description, you're going to put in the name of your practice and what the page is about. In this case, it's just kind of an intro, Midtown Animal Hospital, veterinarian serving West Sacramento, Davis, Carmichael, Fair Oaks, Knob Grove. So how about this? Davis is a little far. So now we've got downtown in there and Midtown. So what I'll do is I will hit OK. I'll save this. And if you mouse over, there's downtown again. So now we've got downtown at least 3 times on this page. One in the actual body of the page, once on the image, and then once in the description. So as you can see, it starts to pile up. If you do that, multiple times, you do that on, it doesn't necessarily have to be on every page, but maybe if you do it on half the pages, if you've got 20 pages, 10 times 3, that's 30 instances of it. And sometimes that's all it takes to edge you out over the competition that might be, number 1, number 2, or whatever. Really, as long as you're floating on the front page, it doesn't matter too much if it's exactly at number 1. I mean, obviously number 1 is the best, but if you're on page 2, there's no chance. Nobody's going to see you. Whereas if you're on page 1, you're in the running. Does anyone have any questions about what I just covered? I know that's kind of a lot to digest, and again, we just want to give just some general stuff, but I also don't want to just keep plowing ahead if we're causing questions. Okay, so what we've covered so far this morning, and this is probably about half of what we've done, is what's called on-site SEO. So in other words, it's the things that we put on here, text that we can put on the page, increasing the search term, putting tags on an image, changing things like that. These are all things that we've done on the site itself. Now, if you'd like to, the other half of it, which I touched on earlier, is your off-site SEO. And so what this is about, this has to do with all the other factors that connect to your website and to your practice. So, for example, links from other pages, links in directories, your URL being in a correct listing for a social network, things of that nature. This site here that I'm using, Moz.com, we don't have any official affiliation with, but I enjoy using the site because it's easy to use. I'll include the link here, and I invite you after the call to go ahead and to put your practice in to see how well you rank. If you put in the name of your practice and your zip code, you'll see your listing check here, and it'll give you a kind of a general view of how well you're doing. This is kind of an arbitrary view because there's many more. They've got a listing here of about a dozen different search engines, social networks, directories, and web pages that have business listings. And so they're basing this score in the context of this dozen or so websites. And if you're just starting out, you'll probably be around 0% because nobody knows the name of the practice, nobody knows where you're located, anything like that. If you're a more established practice, in general, you're going to have a higher score. This is a great spot to check for inconsistencies, a great place to check to make sure that your information is up to date, that there's no duplication or kind of variances in the way you present your information. The name of the practice, your address, and your phone number should all be consistent. If you use the and sign and then spell out AND, try to figure out which one you're going to do. If on your business cards you've got www.yourpracticename.com, then use a www consistently. Or likewise, if you're not using one, go ahead and do that from time to time. You want to make sure that everything is consistent, so that Google, when it looks at it, doesn't think that it's two different entities. So, for example, here, this is the inconsistent one. They've got a different phone number. There's no website. Address is the same. But now notice this. They've got this person here, Rose Nelsenador, DVM. So this doctor has her own listing. At some point, this was encouraged because I see this happen often, where the doctors have their own name, it's tied to a practice, and off they go. The disadvantage happens when the doctor decides to pursue a career somewhere else, where there's a separation, maybe between both parties, or for whatever reason, or the practice goes under. Maybe it changes names. There's a lot of things that can happen. This is where you can go ahead and fix these sorts of things. And so if you're on this page and you put in the results, if you go to incomplete, here is where you can update the listings. I've got actually hey, here it is. I actually have a video on just this topic. And so one of, taking control of your local listings, I'll walk you through how to do those things. And if you like to, you can look at that. If you want to just give me a call, I'll be glad to walk you through as well. Since this doctor is doing fairly well, there's really, I'm not going to worry too much about her. She's always busy, so this isn't that big of a deal. If on the other hand, though, there was some real glaring inconsistencies, across multiple different search engines or directories, and that, then you want to fix it up, because then these things tend to bleed over onto one another. A lot of these different companies will use information from each other, so you'll see that there's, as the good information gets out, it sort of filters down, and same with the bad information. If you see a mistake in one spot, well, it's bound to come up that way in another. So this site, moz.com/local, will help you take control of some of that offsite SEO and help you fix those listings so that they're consistent and so that you rank better. So why is this important? What's the big deal? I'm going to go back here to Google Webmaster Tools, and if we look here under search traffic, you'll see links to your site. So Doctor has a whole bunch of different pages linking. Here's all the different ones: Yellow Pages, these different, websites, directories, Yahoo, other directories, Foursquare, etc. So all of these link to her website, and so the more of them that you have, the more that the more of the links that you have coming from other websites, the better your site's ranking will be with Google. Google is going to view those as a sign of support. They're going to view those inbound links as an endorsement, and the more endorsements that you have, the better. It's kind of like when we go out for a job interview and they ask you to bring some endorsements. Well, those links are endorsements because they're useful data, they're working links, there's actual connections there, and that tells Google, okay, this website has some worth, it has some value, and that in turn will mean that the visitors will get some value out of it, and so it's going to go ahead and raise the rank for that site. Something else that counts, in addition to the links that are coming into your site, the links within the site count as well. So on your home page, there's all these different links coming back over. All these different pages connect to one another, and that's important because Google it's important for two reasons. Number one, you heard me earlier discuss how Google comes by and there's a program that looks for links. Well, so here's what it does. The program comes along. Sounds kind of like a nursery rhyme. The program, the bot comes along, it finds a link, clicks on the link, and it goes to the next page. And then it repeats the process, and then continues to find the different pages. And if there's links in all these different pages, it'll continue to go ahead and do so. So the more pages that you've got linked to one another, the better, because you're going to make it easy for these automated systems to find the content on every page. And right now, in fact, I would definitely include something, because there's some links up here, but I would check with the doctor and say, well, let's connect something over here to the About Us or the Contact Us or the prescription, because you want to be able to direct people to where they go. I know we're not on the call right now, but I'll ask anyway, does any folks have IKEA near you? And the reason I bring this up is because I do. I've got one like 2 miles from my house, and my wife can take the kids there. Often they've got cheap meals, and it's a good place to tire them out when it's hot out. We'll walk around and do a couple of laps, and they're done. Now, in IKEA, you've got these arrows that kind of direct people to the cashiers. Eventually, that's where you're going to go. They're going to separate you from your money, just like Apple. And what you want to do here is, most of your pages, most websites that are veterinary websites aren't selling people things directly. What they're doing is they're inviting you to call in so you can begin this relationship, right? So please call us, set up an appointment, give us a buzz, whatever the case may be. So what I'd recommend then is, when you get a chance, connect the pages to, homepage connects to these top level pages, top pages connect to the sub pages, and those other sub pages and whatnot go to the contact us, because this is the kind of the important, most important page on here. This is where people are going to make a determination. You know, maybe they've made up their mind. They're just going to find out maybe, you know, what day you're open or your hours, and then they're going to give you a call so that they can go ahead and set up an appointment. So if you've got links to this page, and hey, here's an opportunity to write down, Tim. Give me a second. Okay. So the internal links are important, and they're also important because nowadays a lot of folks have mobile devices. So if you look at their website in a mobile format, you notice something happens to your menu. So here's your menu over on the left. Now look, see, we've got these three dots up here. You got to click on this, and then it takes you. So 3 clicks that you've got to do. Kind of a bummer, right? Now, what if, on the other hand, instead of doing that, all right, so what if instead of having to use this navigation, we scrolled down and then we just clicked here? Or if you're on a phone, I guess the more accurate term would be, you know, tapped it, right? Since you're touching it with your finger. So if you've got that here, you can make it easy for the search engine to find all the different pages on your site. And if you don't know how to do a link, I'll show you right now. It's a fairly straightforward process, not that technical, but it's a huge deal. So there's home, about us. All right, let's see. Oh, 2 hours. I'm just going to leave it like this for now. So you highlight the text that you'd like to be linked, click the link. What did I say this one was going to be? Spay and neuter information. So there it is. And then I'll hit save content. So there you are. Now the site has one more link, and it's going to make it easy for the visitors to the site to get to this information. Does anyone have any questions about what we covered so far? Okay, here's a good question. I'll keep you guys anonymous. One of the doctors asked, how long does it take for these changes to take effect? That's a great question. Great question. So when you make the um, when you make the changes to your site, that's the first step. Sending it to Google is the second step. And then the third step is for it to actually note the changes that you've made and recognize it on there. If you remember, I'm using Google Webmaster Tools to submit these changes. So if I've updated, for example, the Contact Us page, then I have to go ahead and let Google know. So by the time the time it takes to do that and then rank, so the actual crawling process happens super fast. Usually within a couple of minutes of us hitting this button here, Google will come by and then see the difference. Now, how long it takes it to actually go ahead and change your ranking will take upwards of a week or so. And then, so if you were to march, from maybe, I don't know, 10 pages in or 6 pages in, it'll take a couple of weeks in order for you to go ahead and do that. I had one client that I was working with. Let me see how they're doing. And they were not doing so hot on their ranking. Let me go ahead and pull it up here. Is it these guys? Brand new site. They were like, they had just started the business, and this was at the beginning of the year. So it took us a couple of months to go from 0%, where the search engines even knew that the business existed, to 36%. And I don't want to throw them under the bus, but we could probably go up even a little higher had there been more involvement. I know there's been some phone tag and things like that, and I know things sometimes, especially doctors and practice managers, always busy. There's always running around. There's a lot of stuff to do, but it's a gradual process. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes weeks. It takes sometimes a couple of months, but you can make changes. You can take those steps towards making the changes today, and then start to see some fruit after a few weeks. So hopefully that helps answer that question. The best thing that you can do is to give me a call so that we can set up a one-on-one, and then we can talk specifically about what it is that you want to be, number one for. One of the things that people will sometimes ask, and they'll say, well, Jose, we want to be number one. And I'll say, well, what for? Well, how about, well, how about only canine? Well, okay. Or, we're a boarding facility. Um, Not all of our clients are strictly veterinary. I mean, they're all vaguely veterinary related, but we've got a couple of kennels and things like that. So here, oh, hey, look, here's the ads, just like I was saying. So if somebody isn't showing up, and maybe you're on page 2. So let me find the Pet Inn. So here are these guys. They're doing Sacramento and Elk Grove. So I'll bet you they're in the south part here. Yeah, Freeport Boulevard. So if these guys wanted to do better at their site, they're not our clients, but if they wanted to do better for West Sacramento, and they're saying, yeah, we don't have any clients from West Sacramento. We're right across the river. That's where I live. We're right across the river from the state capitol. Then, I would go ahead and I would go ahead and then get started on the pages, adding tags to the images, putting tags in up here in the titles, putting the actual text on the page itself, and then submit it to Google Webmaster Tools. Because really, these folks are like right on the edge. It's like super close. You could, with a little bit of an effort, we can get it to that #1 page. When you're coming in from page 6 or 7, it's a little bit more work. But when you're right on page 2, then it's just a little bit more just to get over that hump. And again, it's not an overnight process, but we can certainly facilitate it and certainly help you with that. Okay, we still got a little bit more time. Part of your online presence, the offsite SEO is your social media, and so I'm going to use my doctor as one of them. Well, he's not my doctor, but he's one of our clients, oldest clients of ours. And his Facebook is fantastic. Now, I'm going to bring this one up, and it's kind of funny because they even have more than us. I'll go ahead and admit it. They have been working on their social media quite a bit. And some of the things they're doing that's really helping is they took claim of their page, so that way they can respond to people. They've uploaded some content, pictures, actual examples of some of the situations they fixed where there's, dentistry and whatnot. I think that's one of his passions. He's very big on the dentistry for critters. And then they talk about these other little bits of engagement. So if you go to the site, it's not just, their business hours or whatever, but they talk about these pet story with a happy ending, which is great. I mean, because who doesn't like, animals, and who doesn't like happy endings? So these are great. I'm pretty sure if he had pet stories with, terrible endings, the site would maybe even been kicked off Facebook. But he talks about these nice things that happen. So there's this treatment, there's all these things that happened, and the outcome is great. So this is an idea for something that you can do, some content that people can do that. And if you notice, he puts in, it's almost like a letter. Hey guys, here's what we did. Here's the story of this critter, and here's this happy ending. And then it has his contact information. And he's discovered that this is, a great way of leading people out of Facebook, because Facebook's kind of like a casino, and then leading them to his website where they can see all the different content that he has to offer them on his page. You don't have to do this on every post, but I've seen so many posts where there are no links to their own website, and then this is such a huge source of traffic, right? I mean, it's like a mall. Everybody goes to Facebook. It's one of the things you log into. You're on your phone. You're waiting for something. You hop on and you see what's going on. If you engage your visitors, if you engage the people that have liked your official page, you can go ahead and then direct them to different parts of your site. So, for example, maybe, hey, did you know that we offer online prescription refills? Or, hey, we know that summertime is here. We still have space for boarders if you want to leave your dog with us, while you enjoy your vacation, or whatever the case may be. So, if on Facebook, some of these things that you can do to improve your ranking is to use Facebook wisely. Not saying that you don't have to do, it's not okay to do the fun stuff, the cat videos and, things like that. Those are always great. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And in fact, we all need that. Everybody needs kind of a break, right? So you are doing in general, you're doing a service, but just remember that every once in a while, direct people to your site. That's an important thing. All right, so that said, I put a little bonus. If you've seen this one, I apologize. The bonus cat video is a cat watching a horror movie. You can get a bonus laugh out of that one since we're wrapping things up soon. One final thought on social media. I know that I've talked about a little bit about getting your online presence and claiming your listings and whatnot in that other video. Really, really important. Really important to claim your social medias, at least so that people don't use yours, right? If you are on social media right now, we urge you to follow us. We are on Facebook, facebook.com/eVetSites. We'll let you know, like for example, like the webinar that we're doing today. We'll also tell you about upcoming things, many different things like this. This one's a little more informal. We've got pictures of some animals. And then, of course, we've got our Twitter as well. So we've got you covered on all these different ones. We'd love to have you folks follow us, and we, of course, will follow you back so we can get that engagement going. But it's always good, even if you don't use it that much, to at least claim it so that you have control over it. So, for example, here, if somebody messages, see how it says typically replies within an hour. This will let people know, hey, there's somebody there. Maybe they're not going to set up an appointment with you, but they can at least, say, hey, when are you guys open? Or, and then you can say, hey, give us a call. Here's our number. We'd love to see you. And so that you can go ahead and drive that engagement and because it doesn't, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if somebody goes to your site or somebody comes in through your front door because of your website or your Facebook or your Instagram or your Twitter. The bottom line is they've made, sometimes it's a combination of those different things that kind of drive them. Maybe somebody will be on social media and they'll be reminded, oh yeah, I need to take my cat in for shots, or whatever the case may be. And so whatever, every once in a while, if you can, when you engage with them, this is an opportunity for you to do so in places where people are at. Okay. So it looks like the questions have dwindled down. Oh wait, here's one. Can you do this for us? Okay, that's well, yes and no. If we're on the phone, of course we will do as much as we can when we are on the phone with you. But we, our model is kind of based on empowering the clients to go ahead and log in and do it. Now, if we're on the phone, we'll set up some time, and I'll usually do anywhere from half hour to an hour. I'll log in with your computer. We'll set up this thing called TeamViewer. And then we can kind of remote in and we'll help you. There's some things that we can do, of course, but at the end of the day, we need to speak with you. Because especially with things like geography. So for example, I've got clients that are mobile vets, and I'll do, these guys are a great example. For me to put together this map on my own, I wouldn't know. I needed to get on the phone with them. So for them to tell me, oh, yeah, no, go along the coast. Oh, wait, no, that's too far. Come back up, go around here, and then we can put together a coverage map. I need your input because you know your community, you know your demographic, you know your people, so you can do this. So you're, even if there's the technical stuff that you're not sure with, I still need to know what it is that we're going to search for, what we're going to improve for. Newport Richey, Port Richey, why not Odessa? Why not Keystone? Those are the things that I want to know about, and that because you're involved in your community, you're involved in the area around you, and so you know these things. So again, it's really important that we set up a one-on-one conversation so we can do that. I can't just make SEO happen. It's kind of a collaborative effort. But there's a lot that you can do, and you don't have to pay a cent for it, or you're kind of already paying us, but we'll be glad to help. If no one has any other questions, I'd like to thank you all for showing up today. Appreciate you taking out your time. If there's anything that you have questions about afterwards, anything about what we've covered, maybe something that I didn't bring up, anything related to the website builder, just let us know. You can contact us through any social media, Instagram.com/eVetSites, Facebook.com/eVetSites, Twitter.com/eVetSites. You can also email us, support@eVetSites.com. And of course, you can call us 888-332-5316. Thank you again for all of you for being here. We're going to be doing kind of a similar topic next week. So if you missed it, or if you have a colleague that'd like to be a part of it, well, we'd love to have you along. Thank you for showing up, and you guys have a great day.